These are the 7 levels of fiction's most hopeless apocalypses. Worlds that didn't end, they just forgot why they began. Level 1. The Last of Us. The end begins with a heartbeat and a cough. It doesn't start with monsters. It starts with groceries, traffic, and a fungus that decides to get creative. A single mutation, one extra trick in its playbook, and people stop being people. They move, they listen, they hunt. Not out of hate, out of hunger. Civilization collapses overnight, governments fall, then regroup under new names that sound safe but mean quarantine and bullets. The new commandments are short. Don't get bit, don't get close, don't care. Joel tries all 3 and fails the last one for good. 20 years later, cities bloom with moss and regret. Skyscrapers lean like gravestones. Clickers scrape through hallways where elevators used to sing. Joel, a smuggler who's forgotten how to hope, meets Ellie, a kid who jokes like laughter is an act of rebellion.
Don't.
She's bitten, but immune, a rumor in human form. Delivering her means crossing a continent of ghosts. Every trade costs something. Food for trust, silence for safety, mercy for time. The world has rules again, but none that make sense. Joel teaches Ellie how to shoot.
Just hug it. There you go. And as soon as you fire...
Ellie teaches Joel how to live with a future again. Neither lesson is painless. When Joel finally chooses love over logic, it isn't noble, it's human. He saves one person and lets the cure die on the table. The fungus ended civilization. Affection finished the job. Level 1 is the human apocalypse, the fall that still remembers how to feel. Buildings crumble, but so do hearts.
I can find...
No, just go! Just fucking go.
This is where endings are still recognizable, where people keep pretending that saving someone is the same as saving the world. But the next level forgets even that illusion. The fire still burns, but only to keep walking through the ash. Level 2, the road.
And I'll kill anyone who touches you. 'Cause that's my job.
The world ends without fireworks, just wind dragging ash across empty highways. No meteors, no mutants, no gods. Civilization doesn't explode. It thins out until memory is the only thing left with a pulse. The sun still rises, but it feels more like an autopsy than a miracle. A man and his son walk south through the gray. The father carries a pistol with 2 bullets, one for mercy, one for meaning. The boy carries what's left of innocence, a question that never stops bleeding. Are we still the good guys? They scavenge rusted shelves for canned peaches, sip rainwater like communion.
You should have some.
No, you ain't drinking.
I want you to have some.
Sleep beside fires that feel too small for the dark. We're carrying the fire, the father says, as if words can keep Extinction polite. But he doesn't know what the fire is anymore. Hope, habit, or hallucination. The boy believes anyway because belief is the only luxury the end of the world can't steal. Every stranger is a mirror cracked in a new shape. Some kind, most hungry. No one lingers. Compassion is expensive. Trust is fatal.
Just help him, Papa. Just help him. He's just hungry.
When the father lies, it isn't cruelty, it's weather control. He's keeping the last storm inside himself. When his body finally quits, the boy keeps walking, alone now, but the fire doesn't go out. Maybe it never was a flame, just the story people tell themselves to make silence survivable. Level 2 is the apocalypse after emotion, the patience of death.
I'm sorry.
The long fade between last breath and final echo. Humanity here doesn't rage. It erodes. It's what happens when survival keeps going long after purpose clocks out. But not every apocalypse stays quiet. Some remember music, words, and the need to perform while the world burns. The next level finds beauty rehearsing in the ruins. Level 3, Station 11, when art replaces order.
We celebrate our Independence Day!
The end arrives like a whisper. No flames, no fanfare, just a flu that moves faster than language. Within weeks, cities become museums of light, airports filled with still luggage, highways that never echo again. The internet dies mid-sentence. The world shrinks to walking distance. 20 years later, a caravan rolls between ruins carrying violins, costumes, and paper scripts. They perform Shakespeare in parking lots and burned-out malls under a hand-painted motto, because survival is insufficient. It isn't optimism, it's maintenance. Civilization forgot how to live, so art remembers for it. Their audience is small, a few scavengers, a child who's never seen electricity, a man who only stays to cry quietly. They trade fuel for applause, antibiotics for monologues.
My entire family lived and died before we met. That's true of everyone here!
Each play becomes an act of archaeology, digging up what humanity used to feel before it forgot how. Outside their circle of light, cults form. Prophets preach that the flu was cleansing, that art is sin, that memory is rebellion, but the troupe keeps playing anyway. Every violin note says the same thing. The world isn't over, it's just smaller now. This is the aesthetic apocalypse, the one where culture outlives comfort. Society is gone, but stories keep orbiting the empty space it left behind. It's not survival, not really. It's defiance, a way of saying, we were here, even when there's no one left to listen. Level 3 marks the moment despair becomes performance, when humanity starts painting beauty over rot because it refuses to live without meaning. But some worlds don't even bother pretending beauty is enough. In the next level, hope is privatized, miracles are weaponized, and one unborn life becomes the final reason the world remembers to keep breathing. Level 4, Children of Men. When hope becomes a commodity, no meteor, no virus, just silence in the maternity wards. 18 years without a single birth, and humanity keeps moving only because habit doesn't know how to quit. Governments tighten borders, religions franchise miracles, and news screens loop the same funerals of meaning. The end of reproduction doesn't stop traffic, it just makes the roads quieter. Theo used to believe in something. Now he drinks, smokes, and drifts through a London that's learned to romanticize decay. The city is a museum of propaganda. Buses carry cages of refugees, cafes explode on schedule, and police checkpoints protect nothing. Then comes Key, a pregnant woman in a world that forgot the sound of crying. Her existence rewrites the rules, and everyone wants to own the pen. Politicians see salvation. Militants see leverage. Theo just sees a chance to matter one more time. His job isn't to save the species, it's to escort one heartbeat past the noise. Along the way, soldiers shout prayers, walls burn, and for 10 seconds, a newborn's cry makes a battlefield go silent. It's the purest miracle the apocalypse allows. Collective awe, immediately followed by gunfire remembering its lines.
Stop! Cease fire! Cease firing!
Children of Men is the faith apocalypse, a world not destroyed by disaster but by the absence of purpose. People survive out of momentum, not belief. The miracle doesn't fix that, it just proves how broken meaning had become. Hope is no longer a feeling, it's a resource to exploit, a headline, a brand. Level 4 is where humanity stops asking, what now, and starts asking, what's left to sell? The world isn't dying, it's running out of reasons to exist. The next level finds order frozen solid. Survival keeps its schedule, and revolution rides the same track forever, mistaking motion for progress. Level 5, Snowpiercer. Order is the most elegant kind of extinction. The world ends efficiently this time. Humanity fixes global warming by freezing the planet solid. The sky clears, the oceans crystallize, and civilization reduces itself to a single metal line, a train circling a dead Earth forever. Inside, everything still runs, because stopping would mean admitting it's over. The front cars dine on sushi and sunlight. The tail eats protein bricks that probably used to have names. The rich call it balance. The poor call it Tuesday. Every door in between is a reminder that inequality survived the apocalypse just fine. Curtis, a man born in the dark end of the train, knows that revolution isn't a choice. It's physics. Pressure builds. It moves forward. Bodies burn like coal to keep the engine running. When the uprising begins, the rebels fight their way through cars that feel like memories. Classrooms teaching obedience, nightclubs celebrating denial, greenhouses pretending the planet is still alive. At the very front sits Wilford, the engineer, the god, the accountant of suffering. He offers Curtis a truth disguised as mercy. The system works because it kills just enough. Break it, and everyone freezes. Keep it, and enough survive to keep believing it's worth it. Snowpiercer is the systemic apocalypse, a world where control outlives meaning. The planet died, but bureaucracy kept breathing. Order becomes its own religion, its priests dressed in uniforms and efficiency reports. Humanity can't tell the difference between survival and repetition anymore. Level 5 is the moment Extinction gets promoted to management. The end doesn't arrive with chaos, it files paperwork. But nature doesn't sign contracts. The next level replaces humanity altogether, proving that Extinction isn't failure, it's just succession. Level 6. The girl with all the gifts. Evolution doesn't negotiate. The fungus doesn't stop at flesh. It graduates to thought. Cordyceps, the same parasite that toppled humanity in another story, learns how to build again. It grows new minds inside the ruins of old ones, testing compassion like a lab experiment. The world's last military base studies children who are both symptom and solution. Among them is Melanie, polite, curious, hungry. Her smile is a thesis on restraint, the human part reciting poetry, the fungal part rehearsing hunger. Dr. Caldwell wants a cure. Sergeant Parks wants containment. Miss Justineau wants to believe Melanie is more than what's eating her. Together, they travel through a city reclaimed by roots and silence. Nature has repossessed everything. Banks full of moss, schools full of dust, churches where vines read the sermons. Humanity's architecture stands like a tomb the earth decided to decorate. When they find the spore pods, towers taller than cathedrals ready to burst, Melanie understands the truth better than her teachers. A cure would only stretch the suffering. The future doesn't need fixing, it needs replacing. So she lights the match. The pods bloom like fireworks, filling the air with the next chapter. The girl with all the gifts is the biological apocalypse. The moment evolution stops asking permission. Humanity isn't destroyed out of malice. It's retired for inefficiency. Melanie doesn't end the world. She graduates it. Level 6 is where apocalypse becomes inheritance, where extinction is just a performance review, and the planet quietly promotes someone else to management. But there's one final level, and it's not about infection, extinction, or survival. It's about what happens when existence itself becomes too heavy to hold, when the only way to stop hurting is to stop being. Level 7, Neon Genesis Evangelion, the end that calls itself salvation. This apocalypse doesn't arrive with explosions. It arrives as enlightenment. Humanity decides that pain is the final disease, and the cure is erasing the self. The Human Instrumentality Project promises perfection through fusion. No distance, no loneliness, no rejection. Everyone will dissolve into one warm ocean of thought. It sounds merciful. It feels like anesthesia. Angels fall, the sky bleeds, and crosses bloom where cities used to stand. Bodies become orange light. Minds merge into static. The boundaries that once defined love, guilt, and individuality melt like ice under a sun that never sets. The apocalypse becomes an embrace, smothering, eternal, absolute. At its center stands Shinji Ikari, a boy so desperate to be understood that he's asked to decide what it means to exist. He's offered paradise without friction, unity without identity. For a moment, he almost accepts. Then he hesitates, because a world without pain is also a world without choice. He chooses separation, the impossible kindness of letting people hurt, fail, and try again. The sea recedes, the world restarts, fragile and uncertain, and the cost is everything that once felt divine. Neon Genesis Evangelion is the existential apocalypse. The moment humanity stops ending physically and starts ending philosophically, it isn't destruction, it's transcendence that overshoots its purpose. Salvation and extinction become synonyms. Level 7 is where the universe folds in on its own empathy. Reality survives, but meaning doesn't. This is the quietest ending imaginable. Not death, not rebirth, just awareness too complete to bear. And that's where the descent ends, where even hope stops asking to be believed. Outro. And that completes the descent through fiction's most hopeless apocalypses, from infected cities and frozen trains to cosmic salvation that feels like sleep. Each world answered the same question differently. What's left to live for when even hope expires? If you want more apocalypse breakdowns, cosmic horror explanations, and dark universe analysis, subscribe and keep your light on, not because it keeps the darkness away, but because it helps you see what's still human. The end may be inevitable, but watching it unfold, that's entertainment.
Subscribe for more interesting stuff. Tell us your experience in the comments.